Hello friends, welcome to Gradeup. Welcome to another class of State of International Affairs. And in today's class, we're going to deal with a very important summit or very important initiative which has taken place in Davos under the World Economic Forum. So as you know, World Economic Forum is one of the forerunner in the terms of the public-private partnerships across the world which take across. So it is where the global leaders around the world, they come and meet with the private sector. They meet with the NGOs, they meet with the businesses, the universities, all sort of, it's an intellectual summit. And every year in WEF, there are prominent reports which are published, prominent indexes which are published, and new alliances which are made. And these are very frequently asked in our competitive exams. In all the competitive examinations, they ask, which of the following reports are launched by WEF or which of the following indexes are launched. Especially because this is on a global scale. This is the world's biggest public-private partnership platform. So we need to be knowing everything about it. We need to be knowing comprehensively what is WEF. We also need to be knowing what has happened in this recent summit. Okay, this concluded on Jan 29th, 2021. So today we shall be taking it up comprehensively. So this is me. I'm B. Teja Sir. I've graduated from IIT Kharagpur and I've worked at Ware Minerals and MNC for 2 years, and I've been teaching UPSC students for the past 2 years. You can follow me on the Gradeup app. Here the follow button is there. So you can follow me, and whenever my class is online, you can just be intimated about the class. Sorry, is it buffering for anyone? Am I visible to everyone? Am I visible and audible? Yeah, that's better. Okay, and I wanted to remind you that today is the last day of the February Mela of Gradeup Super. So as you're aware, Gradeup Super is the platform through which just by taking one subscription, you'll get access to all the courses of Gradeup, the CSE courses, the EPFO courses, the NCRT courses, the special courses, everything, you'll be getting access to that. So we have an EMI system also where you can be taking up the 6-month course or 9-month course or 18-month course. And as part of the EMI, we are offering flat 50% off. Okay, you can use the code FEB50 and you'll be getting a flat 50% off. And today is the last date, friends. So please mark your calendars. And if you're seriously considering UPSC this year, you should definitely take the Gradeup Super subscription. Let's begin the class. So as I was saying, the 51st edition of 2021, which is the World Economic Forum Davos agenda, has taken place. Okay, Davos is a place in Switzerland where every year the summits are made. So generally, informally they also say the Davos Summit instead of taking the name of WEF. So you need to be knowing that it's a WEF summit. Okay, Davos agenda, they tell it. Informally, it's called Davos agenda. So this year the theme is a crucial year to rebuild trust. So they have used the word rebuild. Why? Why have they used the word rebuild? Because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, the main agenda of the meeting was during the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a disconnect between the governments and the people and the private sector. Suddenly many governments around the world, they have announced lockdown, including India. The private sector was severely facing an issue. There was a contraction in many economies, including India. So there is a sort of trust deficit between the people and government and the private sector. Okay, I mean, this is a speech of the president of the WEF, Mr. Mark Schwab. So I was just seeing his speech, so I was opening up with this only. So we have the government, private sector, and the public, which are the people, the civil society. So among these three players, there needs to be a rebuilding of trust. Okay, rather than government unilaterally taking actions, there need to be a proper trust. And in this, as you can see, 1,500 businesses, governments, and civil society leaders from 70 countries have participated. Our head of state and government, Narendra Modi ji, Prime Minister, Xi Jinping also participated in the meeting. So, after the last year Ladakh clashes, this is one of the few summits in which both India and China have participated. Can somebody tell me another summit in which India and China has participated in 2020? This was prominently news because after the border clashes, both of them had come to one place. I had mentioned also in the SARC class. Is good afternoon Ghulam Muhammad, good afternoon Rudra Mishra, good afternoon Chandra Spriha, good afternoon Samin. In the SCO, okay, Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting also, which was hosted by Russia, the India and China were part of it. So in this also, India and China have met again. So slowly there is sort of a rebuilding of ties even between India and China, if you see. I'm just reading through the international relations. And several leaders from international organizations like World Bank, IMF, your BRICS Bank, all of them, they have come together here. And one major highlight from this WEF is, during the WEF panel discussion on mobilizing action on climate change, US Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, Mr. John Kerry, okay, he was a vice president also before, he stated that US has rejoined the Paris Climate Accord. Okay, so all through, after Joe Biden's presidency, many people were thinking Joe Biden had signed that executive order, but there was no clarity. People were still thinking that US might join, US will join, but this is the conclusive proof that US has rejoined. Okay, this is a very big announcement. As you know, US had quit this Paris Accord in 2017. Okay, US quit in 2017. Under our Mahan Donald Trump, they had quit. The Paris Climate, I hope everyone knows the Paris Climate Summit under the UNFCCC, where the aim is to limit the global warming temperature under 2 degrees centigrade. Okay, where the INDCs and all are there. Yesterday also we discussed this under the Climate Adaptation Summit. Okay, I'm glad, Chandra Spriya. Fine. So this is one major highlight. Two highlights are there. One is India and China, both of them have attended this meeting, and US has rejoined the Paris Climate Accord. Okay, now it's concluded that US has finally formally come back to the US Climate Accord. So a little bit about WEF. What is WEF? WEF is founded in 1971. That's why it is a 51st agenda we have seen. And its headquarters is in Geneva. Please note this. The headquarters is not in Davos. Okay. It's like you can imagine the headquarters is in Delhi, but they have the summit every year in Mumbai. So headquarters is in Geneva. In the competitive exams, generally they tend to confuse. They give the headquarters as Davos because everyone knows WEF by Davos. But the headquarters is in Geneva. So as I've told, there are 1,000 leading companies, your governments, businesses, industry, regional, systematic issues, whichever are there with the government, civil society, all of these. It's a public-private partnership, I would say. It's a public-private cooperation. And it is the world's biggest public-private cooperation. Okay, so it is not a government-led organization, and it is also not a private-led organization. It is somewhere in between. Okay, it's in Geneva, Chandraspriya. Bern is another area in Switzerland. Switzerland, actually, it is such a small country, but there are such important areas in Switzerland. Okay, Bern Summit also is another different summit that is not related to WEF. WEF headquarters is in Geneva. They have the Davos Summit. Yes, it is a non-profitable organization. You can say that. Okay. So just try to answer this. And one of the most important, sort of takeaway from WEF is they give out reports every year. Okay, many important reports are launched by WEF, and you should be knowing all the reports of WEF. So try to answer this question. Any other answers? Okay, some have said A, B, D. So many people are attending this class. Just try to give an answer. On YouTube, any answers do we have? So the answer is, let me just solve it before you. The Global Gender Gap Report is by WEF. Okay, there are different parameters about how the gender around the world they're suffering. Like they rank based on your health, survival, the economic participation, and the political participation. So based on these 4 factors, they rank the countries based on the global gender gap. And similarly, Global Competitiveness Index also is by WEF. So they rank the countries about how competitive they are, how the industry, how competitive industry is, how the human capital is there, how the education profile is there, how they're able to have IPRs in the country, how the jobs are protected in the country. It's by Global Competitiveness Report. Global Risk Report also is by WEF. This was also launched in Jan 2021. Okay, recently also it had come up. They had highlighted how job crisis is the biggest risk. Job crisis, health pandemic, all these. Okay, earlier, the risks were typically terrorism, water security, or cyber crime and so on. But this is the first time they have named health as one of the biggest risks in the Global Risk Report. Okay, Chandrasupriya is saying the global gender gap rank of India is 1112. Fine, you don't have to remember the ranks, don't worry. And the World Development Report is not by WF. Okay, it is by the World Bank. World Bank ke 3 important reports are there. One is the World Development Report. One is your obviously ease of doing business report, and the ease of living index. Okay, and you also have the remittance index, logistics index. All of them are by the World Bank. So the answer is A, 1, 2, 3 only. Okay, you need to be knowing. Okay, you just see the last 5 years prelims papers. There are definitely 1 to 2 questions on the reports. Definitely there are questions on which this report is launched by which international organization. So let's come to the WEF Summit, which has happened finally. So our Prime Minister has addressed in the WEF forum. He focused on 4th Industrial Revolution using technology for the greater good of humanity. Okay, it focused on this. So that's why we'll discuss today about 4th Industrial Revolution. What do you understand by 4th Industrial Revolution? So he has told that there are 4 factors of our 4th Industrial Revolution. They include connectivity, automation, artificial intelligence, and real-time data. Artificial intelligence and real-time data, yeah. Okay, so connectivity, like how the 5G is coming up and how automation in industries is growing, how artificial intelligence, where the machines or the computers, they can enact human intelligence, they can mimic human intelligence, and data is the new oil. Okay, all throughout there is the data privacy, data concerns, how to use data productively. This is going on. So India is working on 4 factors under this industry 4.0. And in his speech, he has given a long speech, 1-hour speech. In his speech, one important fact he had quoted is Indians transferred 4 trillion rupees in UPI in December 2020. You can quote this in your answer. Whenever, very commonly they ask for us in the examinations about digital technology or digital payments, cashless economy. So for all that, this is the fact which he has told in the speech, that Indians transferred 4 trillion rupees. And government also transferred 1.8 trillion rupee through DBT during the pandemic. Okay, basically under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, the Atmanirbhar Bharat Yojana, all the DBTs which were done, it was around 1.8 trillion rupees. And he invited the global companies to leverage the production linked incentive. Okay, I hope you know the PLI, which was launched during the Atmanirbhar Bharat Yojana, where for the manufacturing of your electronics, for electronics, mobiles, manufacturing and all, this production linked incentive is there. So as you're producing more, the company will be getting the incentive. Okay. For example, yesterday in the budget discussion, if you have seen in the budget 2021, Nirmala Sitharamanji had launched a scheme related to textiles. Textile industry can use the PLI. Can somebody tell me the name of the scheme? PLI in textiles. Yes, no problem. MCK, you can ask your doubts. Yes, very good, VK and Ketaki Mokal. The Mitra scheme. Okay, Mitra scheme also is linked to the PLI. So our Prime Minister has asked the global companies that please come and use this PLI scheme for boosting the investments. So these three important highlights I found from his speech, which are important. Okay, and nobody will ask you, like, what did the Prime Minister speak in the Davos Summit? But you can use them. In your mains answers, you can use them. In the essays, you can use them. Okay, generally, if the Prime Minister is speaking of something, it has to be an important scheme. Yesterday also in the Climate Action Summit, we focused that's why on these. Next, an important alliance called as the GAIA, has been launched by WEF. Okay, during the event, WEF launched this GAIA. What is this? This is to accelerate the adoption of inclusive, transparent, and trusted artificial intelligence. So now, 100 companies, governments, and civil society organizations all around the world, they are forming this alliance to, identify how best artificial intelligence can be used in our society and how best it can be used ethically. Okay, for example, artificial intelligence you can use in agriculture, like for the drones, for the drone mapping and all. It can map out by the GIS and MIS, it can see in which areas the crops can be grown. And under industry, there can be automation in the industry, especially mostly in the automobile sector. In the services, for example, there can be virtual reality. There is a 5G technology which can be incorporated with artificial intelligence. And under coding, under computer coding, a lot of AI bots are coming up. Similarly, driverless cars, the Tesla's driverless cars which are there, they run on this artificial intelligence. Your energy sector uses artificial intelligence. So lots of like smart energy meters, they use artificial intelligence. There are a lot of applications of AI. Okay, in another class of AI, when we have AI, especially during the science and tech class, you'll be taught about the applications of AI. But they have mentioned the ethical use of AI. Can somebody tell me what are the challenges of AI? Why are they mentioning ethical use? What is the problem with AI? What is the foremost problem with AI? Main issue क्या है AI से? Artificial intelligence is all good. Okay, your human brain, it mimics your human brain and it can learn on its own by machine learning, by your deep cloning, deep learning, all these mechanisms, they can use artificial intelligence. But what is the main issue with AI? Cyber physical systems, all of these are AI applications. Anyone? See, these are live classes. So the purpose of a live class is interaction, or else we could have just uploaded the recorded sessions for you. We are having live classes so that you can interact with me. This has to be like a classroom atmosphere. Okay, artificial super intelligence can overtake human intelligence, fine. We have seen in the movies Terminator and your iRobot, different movies, Matrix, all of this are there. But a more tangible or more credible issue with AI. Lot of data is required, fine. Most immediate challenge क्या है AI से? Anyone? Unemployment. Okay. Unemployment, there can be a structural unemployment in the economy. Okay, presently itself we have unemployment, we have 6.1% unemployment before the COVID-19 pandemic. During the COVID-19, there was a frictional unemployment of around 40% in India. So if people only we are not able to give the jobs, do you think if AI can come up and take up people jobs, what would happen? So unemployment is the biggest issue of AI. So ethical use of AI includes using, of course, data privacy should be there. And yes, Ashish Dhillon has told job loss. Data breaches there, super intelligence is there, all of those fictional, non-fictional things we have. But the most realistic issue of artificial intelligence in our daily lives is unemployment. For example, it is estimated by 2030, almost 20%, almost 20 to 30% of IT jobs would become redundant. Because if you worked in the software, what do? You code. Okay, you code, or maybe you can have this, you evaluate the code. Those are the main, the 70% of the IT jobs revolve around this. So all those jobs would be threatened because an AI bot can take up your position. And under this GAIA, they have set up a steering committee. It will be, one important thing about the steering committee is it will be co-chaired by Arvind Krishna. Okay, he's an NRI. He's presently the CEO of IBM. Mr. Vilas Dhar. Okay, sorry, it will be co-chaired by Arvind Krishna, the chairman and CEO of IBM, and also the Vilas Dhar, who's the president of Patrick J. McGovern Foundation. So it's co-chaired by an Indian. Okay, please remember it. WEF's GAIA. There can be a direct question in our prelims that GAIA, which is prominently in news, has been launched by which organization? Or GAIA is related to what? Okay, if somebody knows, GAIA is also a short form of an environmental concept. Does anybody know that? There is an environmental concept called as GAIA. Yes, job loss report also is given, right? There is an environmental concept of GAIA. Okay, I'm asking too many questions today. GAIA is basically holding the whole earth, whole earth as one organism. Okay, it's also pronounced as Jaya, Jaya or Gaia. It is, matlab, the whole earth, the whole nature is one organism. So if you're impacting the earth at one point, there'll be some impact on some other way. Okay, a sort of butterfly effect can be there all throughout the earth. So some polar ice cap melting in the North Pole, it can impact you sitting in Delhi or Mumbai. So that sort of thing is there. Okay, the entire earth is one ecosystem. That is a concept of Jaya. In the environment and ecology you'll be studying. So based on that, they have named this Global AI Action Alliance. Okay, please Google Gaia after the class. You'll be knowing it in depth. And it has also launched another platform called as Edison. So Edison is Essential Digital Infrastructure and Services Alliance. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, again, a lot of digital inequalities were seen. Many people, they couldn't get the affordable digital health services, digital education, digital skilling, digital payments they couldn't do because a lot of digital ecosystem was growing. We had seen so many 14 trillion rupees were used, but many people were cut off from that. So not only in India, but all throughout the developing world, this Edison Alliance they're launching so that there should be equitable access to digital opportunities. How we can spread digital opportunities to everyone by 2025. Okay, so please remember GAIA and Edison initiatives, both of them are launched under WEF Davos Summit 2021. And a little bit about Fourth Industrial Revolution because our Prime Minister has spoken about it. It is basically the the revolution involving artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics, 3D printing, nanotech, everything. All the cutting edge technologies which are coming, cyber physical systems, machine learning, deep learning, all of them come under the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Because we have basically, if you see the Industrial Revolution, sabse pehle kab tha? During the 18th century, in 1750s, when in the UK, the first time steam powered engines by James Watt, when they had come up, the water and the steam powered mechanical manufacturing when they had come up, that was the first Industrial Revolution. And similarly, during the 60s and 70s, the electrically powered mass production had come up. And later in the 80s, 90s, there was a boom of electronics and IT. And the digital revolution, use of computers, all this has boomed. Now we are at that juncture of using this digital revolution in the daily life. Matlab, we can interact with the digital revolution directly. Okay, the focus is on this interaction, human to machine interaction. So cyber physical systems, big data, cloud computing, edge computing, all of these are part of the fourth industrial revolution. So you can just sit here, you can tap on your mobile phone, the window of your hall may be opened. Okay, if there's somebody coming in, you can just see here and you can press it and he'll be coming in. Okay, you can interact with your environment. So human being also is taken into the part of the digital ecosystem. In the third industrial revolution, human being was separate, digital was separate. Human being was sitting before the computer and working. Now also he'll be sitting before the computer, he won't go inside the computer, but the digital technology will be all around him. It'll impact all the life all around him. So there'll be machine to machine and machine to product connectivity. Advanced analytics would be used, 3D printing would be used, it'll be accelerated. So all the cutting edge technologies, they are grouped under this industry 4.0. Okay. Yes, a very good Chandraspriya, as coal was used extensively. And Chandraspriya is saying under coal, the first industrial revolution is there. Can somebody tell me under the fourth industrial revolution, what is there? What is the raw data? Oh, sorry, I've told the answer. It is data, the raw material. So data will be the raw material now. Okay, but you'll be reading more about this is shortly in 2 minutes. I just wanted to tell you what is 4.0. In your Gradeup super classes in science and tech, we'll have an extensive discussion on this. And India also, Niti Aayog is planning to launch this mission on artificial intelligence and industry 4.0 very soon. Our Prime Minister himself has told about 4.0. So prominently this year, may not be this year quickly, but soon we are going to take up 4.0 as it comes. Okay, is it buffering? Fine. So that's it, friends. That's the end of today's class. So that's the most important parts of WEF Davos 2021. Lot of summits have taken place, lot of meetings have also taken place, but I feel these are the most important which can be asked in the exams. So people watching on YouTube, please, you can download the Gradeup app. On the Gradeup app, we are having free classes almost on an hourly basis. Like this class, State of International Affairs, will be taken up every day at 2 p.m. sharp, Monday to Friday. Okay, similarly, there is the EPFO batches, there is the previous year question batches, ranker series, daily current affairs, editorial analysis, PIB analysis. So many classes we are having on an hourly basis. So you can just download the Gradeup app, rather than YouTube where you might tend to waste time. You can just download the Gradeup app. It's a complete sort of UPSC ecosystem. And again, I wanted to remind you, today is the last day to avail the Feb Mela. So we have the 3-month, 9-month and 18-month plans. And for the first EMI, there is a flat 50% discount. Okay, please avail it as soon as possible. It's targeted for you, especially if you're focusing on the Prelims 21, or if you're focusing on both Prelims and Mains 21, or focusing on Prelims and Mains 2022. For all of you, it's custom cut, different targetings are there, and you can enroll into it. Fine. Today is the last date. I just wanted to mention that. And what are the benefits of subscribing Gradeup Super? As I told you, you'll get access to all the courses. Unlike other platforms where you have to enroll into different courses, it'll be a headache for you. You have to choose between the faculty and choose the courses which you want. Just one subscription, you'll be getting access to all the courses. No confusion. No need to purchase separate courses, and we have the best experienced faculty. And you'll also be getting the mock tests for prelims, mains, all of them. Okay. There is an NCERT class also included, special series like science and tech series. If I'm launching, you will get access to that. A geography series is there, you'll get access to that. So all of that you'll get access by just one subscription. Yes, Ghulam Mohammed, class also, I'm targeting even UGC net. Okay, this state of IR classes which we are having, I'm trying to target UPSC CSE. Okay, for GS and PSIR, for the UGC net, because IR पे बहुत सारे ऐसे factual questions they ask, and also the state PCS. Recently, the UP PCS, if you see, they've asked 5 questions from international relations. So state PCS examinations also will be targeted. Daily, just if you can spend half an hour every day, all the international affairs, the most important international affairs which is there, you'll be up to date with that. So please like, comment and share this class if you liked it, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel and also invite your friends. Okay, to keep the series going on, we need support from you. Since it's a free class, we only thrive on your support. So please share this. Please let us have the maximum views, and so that your friends also can access, so that the series can become more famous, and there'll be a guarantee that this series won't be discontinued. It'll be continued forever. Okay, not forever, at least as long as you're giving the exam. Samir Qureshi is asking a very controversial question. Why is the government taking too long? I would just say no comment, Samir Qureshi. I'm an international relations teacher. But yeah, I understand it's taking a lot of time. Maybe they're approaching the wait and watch policy. Okay. I would say, there can be a proper conciliation. Okay. Dono taraf se there are points which are taking up, but that's a sort of stalemate is arising. Okay. I don't want to support either groups, but something, a quick sort of conciliation, they can take it up. Fine. So please download the Gradeup app and practice the topic-wise quizzes and keep attending the live classes. So thank you so much for attending this class, and let's meet again on Monday at 2 p.m. Okay, bye. All the best. Keep studying well. See you again.